Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their practices, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable advisors across the country and even in your town. Joining me on this segment from Los Angeles is Stephen Rischall, and he's an award-winning certified financial planner and founding partner of Navaline Wealth Partners. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me.
Stephen, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of folks that you specialize in helping?
Sure. Yeah, we are a fee-only registered investment advisor. We're the fiduciary type of financial planning firm, and we provide financial advice across all aspects of our clients' financial lives. Most of our clients are business owners. A lot of my clients work in the entertainment industry, technology founders, entrepreneurs, and they really span multiple generations because we have a lot of clients where we actually work with multiple generations of the same family. In fact, I've got a client where I work with four generations of the same family, which is really cool.
That's neat. So you have quite a range of clients, but they all seem to have that commonality of being creators of some sort. Do you find that they have a common challenge or concern on their mind when they come to see you? What is the most common concern that you hear from them?
They do. Oftentimes, business owners, creatives, they deal with variable income or sporadic income. In some cases, especially our clients that are athletes or entertainers, they might have a very short time horizon where they have the ability to earn a lot of money, and they need to make sure they're doing the right things to, pay their fair share in taxes, but not overpay, and just be smart about how they're saving money, putting money away for certain goals that are long-term, like retirement, and maybe more near term, like starting a family or starting a business.
So for those types of folks, it sounds like the strategies that you might advise people on are a little different. And we're in an age of information overload, and if people start Googling and looking for information, they might get misguided. What are some of the big things that you hear from your types of clients that maybe might be sending them down the wrong path?
Yeah, there's a lot of rules of thumb out there, and you need to be careful because, like you put it, Mark, your financial plan should be unique to you and your situation. So, while I think there's a lot of great information out there on the internet or in different magazines or by other folks that just put good information out there, it may not be specific to you. And oftentimes, I find that people maybe only get half the information or half the details, and they might get a little bit confused about things like contribution limits or what types of retirement accounts or retirement plans can they set up. Certainly, when it gets more complex in areas like taxes and estate planning and gifting, there's a lot more, possibility for confusion or making mistakes that could be otherwise costly long term.
Stephen, what about this pandemic? Does this shift any of the advice that you give out, or is it just merely shifting people's perceptions? What have you heard and what have you experienced because of this pandemic?
Yeah, the pandemic's changed a lot of things, but how it relates to financial planning and also investments, I think it's really brought to the forefront how you need to keep a closer eye on your portfolio. When the markets were going down, people don't like seeing their investments and their portfolio values go down. But then conversely, when the markets go up, everybody loves it and thinks it's so easy. Oh, I just picked this stock and that stock and my portfolio does well. Well, look, that's not going to be a winning game plan long term. You need to have a diversified portfolio. And I would really caution folks that, hey, every once in a while, you need to check in on your portfolio, rebalance it, make sure it's still on track, because it's likely that in good times, some of the more aggressive and growth parts of your portfolio have maybe increased. And that means your portfolio is a lot more risky than you might otherwise expect it.
So, Stephen, to your point, with the folks that you help, creators, athletes that might have that short, income generating time period, when you finally start working with those folks, do you find any big, glaring, common mistakes you see that they've been doing, or any pitfalls that they all commonly fall into you can kind of warn people about?
I think in particular for folks that just got into their stride in their career, or folks that maybe like inherited, a windfall of some sort, a lot of times the concepts around investing are new to them. And I think with a lot of people, when something's new or different, we may not be as comfortable with it. We may be a little bit anxious or nervous about it. So I think learning more about the financial markets, learning more about realistic, returns for realistic amounts of risk, that's all really important. I mean, especially right now, Mark, you've probably heard inflation over the last year has been at, very, very high levels, much higher than usual. So one big pitfall is actually holding too much of your wealth, too much of your savings in cash and not putting it to work.
Stephen, what inspired you to get into this field and help people get their financial houses in order? How did you get started?
Yep. So I actually started investing some of my own money when I was a teenager, when I was really young at 13. But that just got me interested in investing. The world of financial planning and financial advice, it's sort of a silver lining type of story. My mom was unfortunately the victim of financial fraud many years ago. And that was about the time I was going into college. So I was really motivated to learn a lot and everything I could about personal finance, frankly, because number one, I wanted to help my mom. And once I noticed that I had a knack for this stuff and I could share this, my knowledge, this gift with other people, I realized pretty soon, hey, this is a solid career. And I love being in a position where I can actually help people make an impact on their lives long term.
Stephen, before I ask you my last question, for folks listening that know that they need to get their stuff in order but just don't know where to start, you mentioned some things early on that people may not understand what those terms are, like fiduciary. Can you tell us, like, what would you advise people as the most important things they should look for when considering choosing an advisor?
Yeah, the most important thing you should look for, number one, is a personality fit. I mean, yes, you need to make sure they're credentialed and professional, but ultimately, this is the business of trust. I mean, you're getting financial advice, you're getting, possibly investment advice from somebody on the other end, and you need to make sure you could trust them. You obviously need to make sure they're competent. There's some great resources. You could always look up on this website. It's just Google broker check. That's the way that you can check people's license status. You could see, are they a fiduciary with the SEC? Are they registered with the SEC as a fiduciary? Are they not? Another really good resource is cfpboard.net. That's the Certified Financial Planners Board. I highly recommend, if you're looking for financial advice and not a sales pitch, then you ought to be working with a fiduciary, and you probably ought to be working with someone that's credentialed like a CFP.
Terrific. I appreciate that insight. Now, for folks listening now that would love to speak with you, Stephen, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Sure. Easiest way to find me is online. You can just Google my name, Stephen Rischall, STEPHENRISCHALL, or check out our website, navalign.com. That's NAVALIGN.com.
This has been a terrific interview. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your insights with my audience today. And I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thanks, Mark. Same to you. Take care.
Stephen Rischall, he's an award-winning certified financial planner and founding partner of Navaline Wealth Partners. This segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their practices, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.